Hey, Vivian.
Look, I can go backwards.
Let me see. Hey, that's amazing. Hey.
Hey, you. Vivian? Honey, are you okay?
Anyway, let's get started.
All right. Welcome to Movie the Podcast. That's right, Movie the Podcast. It is still basketball June, but we had a Audible week, and we watched Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead, 2004. This movie is 17 years old.
I don't want to bury Lee, but I fucking hate movies now, dude. Like,
I don't hate them, but I was definitely like, oh no.
This movie felt really dated.
It's another new metal early 2000s horror movie.
It's definitely a new metal movie.
It does a reek of Dimension films.
Yeah, I mean, I didn't hate it, but I was like, there were some choices that were made that I was like,
Yeah.
Well, real quick before we get into it, how many I know TJ is, but Alec and Gogs, like, how familiar are you with the original Dawn of the Dead?
Fairly. I think I've seen it 2 or 3 times.
Okay.
Never seen it. Seen it. Don't care to.
Ouch.
Give me all those weird 80s remakes.
Yeah,
you
like,
should have watched Return of the Dead, because that shit
rules. That movie rules. Yeah.
The one where the girl gets thrown off a motorcycle and breaks her neck on the telephone pole, and there's chemicals that bring her back to life.
That's the third one, I think. With the sexy zombie chick on the cover.
What's the Return of the Living Dead? Is that the one in the mortuary with the punk rockers?
Send more paramedics. And that's,
I like that one.
That punk rockers like topless the whole movie.
Yeah.
Isn't that the one where the zombies do like a puppeteering thing to one of the cops or something?
Send more cops. Yeah.
I remember there's a real heavy scene in that one that stuck with me. I haven't watched it in years. But where, like, the guy realizes he's going to turn to a zombie and he puts himself in the cremator. And I was like, God damn, that is dark.
Yeah. Anyway, let's get into it. I am very tired. I'm exhausted.
Spicy.
Yeah. What'd you all watch this week? Sean, I assume you didn't watch anything.
Basketball playoffs, bitch.
Yeah, go Bucks. You guys got to...
So they got past Game 7?
Yeah, I was telling TJ when it went into overtime, I had to leave the house because the dogs were getting scared because I'm like cursing every 5 seconds and they're like in the corner like huddling together.
I was fortunate enough to be in a bar where they're actually playing it, so I got to watch it. That was like the one good thing that happened.
Basketball fucking rules, man. Like I was watching the Suns and the Clippers earlier. It was a great game, and it's fun to watch a game that's really good that you don't have like an emotional investment in.
Sure.
You're not like having a fucking stroke the whole time. But yeah,
and also,
go ahead.
Fuck the Clippers.
Fuck the Clippers. And Devin Booker is a god. That guy rules. I strongly recommend the basketball playoffs. 10 out of 10.
All right, Alec.
I watched 3 things.
There you
God
go.
Damn.
Back to it.
2 things I've talked about before. I'm pretty sure at length, so I'm not going to talk too much. Seeking a Friend for the End of the World. That movie I like quite a bit.
That's a good movie.
It's a very
good movie.
Fun, very fun.
Time traveling movies. Oh
very
no! Wait a
fun
minute.
end of the world movie. Watch The 40-Year-Old Virgin. That movie is still slaps.
Still holds up, huh?
Yep. And
How good is that?
It still does now. Like I don't think it ever won't.
There's nothing like problematic about it now with like new
not really
like new lens.
The only scene that is problematic is how I know you're gay. That whole thing.
That
for
old
the most
chestnut.
part, like I don't think they drop any hard Fs in it that I noticed.
Did one in Dawn of the Dead?
Yep. That scene where Jonah Hill goes to buy the fucking disco shoes makes me laugh every single time.
That is hilarious. It's amazing.
It's so good. Like, I just want to buy these shoes. You're
I just
making
give
it
you
very
right now.
difficult.
Just let me give you the money and you give me the shoes. I don't know why this is so hard.
That's not how it works.
Yeah, Catherine Keener's like seems perplexed that he just wants to purchase something in her store.
The movie also has a weird like scene with a then unknown Kevin Hart, if I'm not mistaken, right? Like,
Well,
Yeah, where
lightly known.
he's going in on I forget his name.
Romani, shit, what's his name?
Romani something.
the guy's great.
Yeah, he's
Yeah.
going in on him about giving him a discount. They're like, he has a whole good line about
Rolling 20s, we
Fucking
fuck
midgets
dwarves in the
ass.
ass. Yeah.
yeah, the rolling 20s.
Maybe Malco.
Yeah, that's-
Malco.
Are you fucking retarded? Do you want me to be fucking retarded?
Yeah, I think that was also our introduction to Elizabeth Banks. I think that's the first thing I ever saw her in.
I still have a big crush on what's her name, Apatow, like the wife. I can't remember her name. Off the top of my head.
Leslie
Leslie
Mann
Bibb.
or
Oh,
Bibb?
Yeah.
One of them.
No, it's Mann. It's Mann.
It's Leslie
Yeah.
Mann. Yeah.
Leslie Bibb's different.
You know who
Yeah,
lost
she's
the
really-
French
she's really-
toast?
Yeah, she's really good in that movie.
Yeah.
And her little 30-second scene.
Yeah.
And the ending to that is one of the most surreal, absurd endings. The very, very ending, like over the credits.
Oh,
Where
yeah,
they're all
yeah.
singing Age of Aquarius.
Yeah.
Yeah.
like dancing. It's so fucking weird, but I love it. I love it so much.
It's a good movie.
But yeah, that movie is very good, and it doesn't have some of the offensive things through the current lens that a lot of the like not side quill, but like the other movies from that genre from then suffer from. Like some of those movies, it's hard to get through.
How do you feel about Catherine Keener on the fuckability scale? Because I'm like hot and cold.
I've never been a huge fan, but I think her performance in this movie might be her best performance. She probably has the most authentic reactions to things of anybody in the movie.
Yeah.
Of like all the shit that goes on and stuff.
Yeah, like when she's trying to help him sell the things and he starts freaking out and she's like just trying to help and she doesn't know what to do.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And also the scene with Jonah Hill where he's like, I just want to buy these. And she's like, well, like, it's not how it works. And like you can tell she's like, God damn it! Like, maybe this eBay store isn't a great idea.
Just imagine explaining that concept to somebody in present day.
There was a. It's not here. Actually, I live over top of where it used to be, but there used to be a guitar store here in Catonsville, and that guy tried to do that where he had a storefront, but you couldn't buy anything there. You'd have to go to his eBay store, and it's like, this is pointless. Like, what is this? It's so stupid. And he went out of business. So
shocker.
Yeah. Good. He deserves it.
Jim's Guitars.
Capitalism killed him. And his
system works.
Idea.
Yeah.
The last thing I watched was probably the worst of the Pee Wee Herman movies, but still I love it. And I will never be able to look at it through like an objective lens of Big Top Pee Wee.
I don't think I've ever seen Big Top.
I don't think I've seen it in its entirety. I think I've just seen Big Adventure and the Joe Manganiello one.
Yeah, which are both better than this one, but this is still a fucking blast. Chris Christopherson is a circus.
All right, you got me.
Circus like I don't remember anything about this movie from being a kid except for he has Pee Wee Herman has hot dog trees. He has a talking pig and the love interest. Also, the Romani, I forget her, the love interest from Hot Shots. I can't remember her name.
Oh, what do you do with an elephant with three balls?
Yeah. But man, that movie's fucking fun. It's so goddamn weird. And there's some problematic things like the freak show with like the transgendered people and midgets and shit like that. But like I'll watching that movie as a kid and loving all this circus shit, I'll never be able to watch that movie and not think it's like a perfect 10. But it's a goddamn blast. All three Pee Wee movies are like legit great. Like I love them all.
I've only ever seen the first one.
His Big Adventure. I mean, that's a good one. It slaps. It absolutely slaps.
I know. Didn't they make one like a few years ago?
Yeah, 2016 they made one
with Joe Manganiello as his best friend.
They're like run into each other like in a diner. Pee-wee works in and become best friends. And Pee-wee travels across the country to go to Joe Manganiello's like 40th birthday in like a New York penthouse. It's ridiculous, but it's also fun.
In the original one, isn't there also that side plot where it turns into like a fucking Coen Brothers movie with fucking Michael Richards and the moon pies and shit? Is that the same movie?
I don't think so.
Okay.
I don't remember that at all.
That might be Problem Child, but I don't know.
I just remember in Big Adventure, the Large Marge scene when I was a kid freaked me the fuck out.
Yeah, that scene fucked me up for a long time. Terrifying quality claymation.
Oh my god.
Anything else?
Yeah. Basketball playoffs. Also give it a 10.
Hell yeah.
Fuck the Clippers though. I don't understand how in the world they beat the fucking Jazz. I don't understand.
Yeah, Trae Young, good player, would not smash, maybe the ugliest man in the world.
Yeah, maybe. Like in New York, they were chanting like receding hairline at him.
Oh yeah, it's brutal. Have you seen the thing where somebody put a Goomba in like a Hawks jersey and drew pubes on it, and it looks just like him?
Who's the guy that plays on Brooklyn that's got like no hair at the top?
Oh, Kevin Durant. Fuck him too.
Yeah, that guy.
Yeah, fuck that guy.
He's his hair is going away.
He's got the Reese's Cup post rapper hair. Like when you peel it off and it's got like just a spot missing.
Oh, now I want to.
Wow, what an analogy. Gogs.
I watched 1 1/2 things.
Hell yeah.
Back to it, baby.
Yeah, on brand.
Was the half finishing your movie from last week?
That is correct. I watched, first thing, I watched all of a movie I'm sure no one else would give a shit about. Raya and the Last Dragon from Disney.
That's the new Disney one, isn't it?
Well, the newest one is that, like, the one about, like, a fishman. This one is about, like,
a fishman.
Yeah, this one's like...
Oh, like Shape of Water, that kind of
No, yeah, it's like this movie. The new one is like Pixar's Luca, which is like a premium thing yet, so I'm not watching it, but it's like my kids got the Happy Meals and all the characters are Italian, and then one of the characters looks like he turns into a water dragon.
Well, if
whatever.
I'll put it on the flag.
But this one is the Raya and the Last Dragon. Pretty good, standard Disney animated fare. Not a bad story. Interesting stuff.
Is it animated or is it like?
It's animated all the fuck. It's like it's in some made up Southeast Asian country that had like a dragon gem, and there's a weird apocalypse, and there's actually some really like I'll say this, better choreographed martial arts fighting than I've seen in some like live action movies we've watched. So not bad. I liked it. It was fun. My kids liked it. It was good times. What my kids didn't like is I made them watch the second half of Neon Demon.
No, you didn't. No, you didn't. Oh my god.
Were you hoping they'd be able to understand it and explain
Jesus
it to you?
Christ.
Well, I know. Well, it turns out there's not a lot to explain or understand because it is very just I'm an analogy, or I'm a metaphor. I got through the first half going, okay, where's this going? And then she had like the place I had to cut it off was basically where she had like her transformative like photo shoot like in all like the pyramids and colors.
The 2001 scene.
Yeah, and then the second half, I was like, just like when the second half I was like, holy shit, I loved it. Like I absolutely loved it. Like it was like awful and haunting and just kind of gross and empty and just. It was like I thought I didn't like Only God Forgives, so now maybe I think I'm gonna go watch Only God Forgives again. But I was
Only God Forgives is his best movie.
I was like, Neon Demon fucking slapped. It is dark. It's like it is hopeless, but it is.
I'm gonna put it on Front Street here. I think Only God Forgives is like one of my top 5 favorite movies of all time. I fucking love that movie.
Yeah.
I gotta rewatch it because I think
you should watch Too Young to Die Old. Yeah. Too Old to Die Young.
Are you talking to me or Gogs?
Both of you.
I did watch it. We talked about it.
Watch it again.
I will watch it a first time.
I was talking in that case I was talking to Gogs.
But yeah, like
because that's Nicholas Winding Refn and Ed Brubaker.
Yeah.
Oh,
the comic book writer.
Nicholas
I'm glad
Wingding
I'm glad you ended up liking it, especially that where Jenna Malone. That's where she really steals the movie in like the last third of
Dude,
it.
Jenna Malone is awesome in that movie. I'm like, I'm sorry you were in Sucker Punch. Like, you needed to be. Sucker Punch did you dirty because you are fucking awesome in this movie.
Like, I can't believe she doesn't work more. You know what I mean? Like, she's
like, where
good.
has she been? She's very
kind of
talented.
She's like only in Nicholas Winding Refn stuff because she's in.
She was in all the Hunger Games movies.
Oh, was she?
Yeah, all the last
first one.
3.
Okay.
Well, I enjoyed it, and I guess it doesn't count as a movie, but I did for at Father's Day, like this afternoon, I watched the 30-minute like how they made all of the Mad Max Fury Road car documentary with my dad.
I watched that with you. That shit was awesome.
We really enjoyed that.
All the detail on the inside of the cars that you don't even see. Like,
dude, like they were like showing shit like on the Giggle Horse. Like I won't get too into it, but like the fucking the Morton Joe fucking car with the big pipes up the side. They hand stamped. They stamped in on just the ends of the tailpipes the Morton Joe symbol. You will never see that. There's not a shot in the film that has that in there. Like in a million years, you will never see that.
They started shooting the Furiosa, or they're starting to shoot the Furiosa movie like next month.
Oh man, like I just can't. I can't get over just like the mad scientist. That would have been my dream job. The mad scientists who created all of those vehicles.
That worked.
And they
fucking worked.
They're like, yeah, it's two supercharged V8s in series. We're generating 1,200 horsepower. Like it just goes, everything go. I wouldn't be surprised. I'm sure that they put an actual 50 cal on the back of something. Like, fuck it, it's just gonna happen.
That movie is amazing.
All the polecats from from Gastown. Those
like, how did
real
nobody
dudes
die making that movie?
I think
it
someone did.
Impossible.
They just didn't tell you about it. Someone had to have died. There's no the amount of things that explode and the amount of bodies are just like flying off of things. It's just Anyway, that's everything I watched.
That movie rocks.
TJ.
I watched one and like a quarter thing. The quarter thing I watched is a movie called The Darkness. It's a Spanish movie.
Is it about the band or the video game?
It's neither. Actually, I was kind of like, I felt like the title, like, there's so many things that have already used that. Like, you should have come up with something else. But anyway, the premise is really interesting. But I just super hungover today, and the movie's kind of slow, so I kept falling asleep. So I'm gonna revisit it and watch it next week. But the idea is that the Earth has stopped moving. Like there's no longer a day-night cycle. You're just kind of always stuck in this like twilight of a day. And there's like it's about this family and there's some kind of monster outside, but I don't know what the monster is, but I will revisit
Wouldn't
it.
everybody on half of the Earth die in like 6 months?
Well, I think
the Earth stopped rotating or the Earth stopped moving through space?
Well, I don't know. I don't know if they're ever going to even get into that. You know, it seems like a pretty small scale story right now. But like, there's no day-night cycle. This is the best way I can describe it right now. And again, I've only watched 20 minutes of the movie, and I fell asleep for 10 minutes.
So it must have stopped rotating, but not orbiting.
Yeah, but, it's kind of interesting. It's kind of interesting so far. Who knows if they're even on Earth? I don't even know. Again,
I'm not getting to it. Yeah, okay.
It was kind of cool, and it's on Amazon Prime. I will watch the whole thing next week. It was not the movie to watch for me today. Half asleep on the couch. I finished the last of the Berserk movies that I was talking about last week. The Golden Age Part 3. It's the best one of the 3.
I meant to start those. I was you sold me on them. Your description made it sound really bad. The third one is
so okay. So I think I said last week that like I was a little disappointed because the Golden Age is like it's not the Golden Age doesn't have a lot of the craziness that the rest of the series has. Well, I was wrong because there is a big shift in the last like half an hour. That's like so the whole reason they call it the Golden Age is because like there is a time. This is very like again Dark Souls and like all the From Software games.
Before you go on, what's a better movie called The Golden Age? Berserk: The Golden Age or L'Age d'Or?
L'Age d'Or. I mean, I like L'Age d'Or, but Also, I think La Age d'Or is 36 minutes long, so I guess I'm going to give the nod to La Age d'Or. You know how I feel about length.
Yeah.
Also, if you want to see a woman suck a statue's toe, that's a great movie to watch. That. So anyway, like there was a period in the Berserk world. I forget the name of the whatever the land it is, but so there was a period where like it was basically just like people fighting each other, like normal stuff, like normal medieval type stuff. And then there's this event that's called the Eclipse, and basically that's when demons entered the world for another like 300 years. So like from that point on is the Dark Age. So that transition, the Eclipse happens at the end of this movie, and it is fucking wild, and it's gross. And I will say my one complaint is, and I've heard, you know, again, I'm in the process of reading the manga now, but it's very rapey, and I really wish they'd tone that shit. Like it's kind of like how I feel about Irreversible. Like I think Irreversible is a fucking masterpiece, but it's a movie I can't recommend to people because it's like I look like a sociopath. Is
it like Ninja Scroll rapey or like Legend of the Overfiend rapey?
It's kind of both.
Oof.
So there's a character in the show called Casca. She's basically like this female warrior type, and she's portrayed as being like the second strongest warrior in the show. But every time she's compromised, she's basically threatened or sexually assaulted. Threatened with sexual assault or sexually assaulted. And within like the last 10 minutes of this movie, she's violently raped in front of Guts, the main character, by the main villain. And it's like they just stick to it like too much. It's just too much. Like you didn't have to do that. Like I get why they do it. Because again, like most anime, it's about two powerful guys that are like always like jockeying for position. You know, it's Dragon Ball with Goku and Vegeta. It's Tetsuo. It's Akira with Tetsuo and Kaneda. You can just go through. It's a very well-worn trope in anime. It's Fist of the North Star. It's Kenshiro and that blonde-haired guy. I can never remember his name. It's an anime thing. So
yeah.
In Guts and in Berserk, it's Guts and it's this guy Griffin, and they're like, you know, oh, our power levels are the same. So like, anyway,
dude, I love anime because there's two guys. One's named Guts and the other one's name is Griffin.
Yeah, but it's cool. I really I could do without the raping. At least, I mean, you could at least dial it down a little bit. But again, all the things I said before about the other two movies stand. The animation's really cool. When everything goes like tits up, and there's all these crazy fucking demons and shit, it looks really rad. Like they basically get teleported to like this hellscape, and there's a part where Guts gets like knocked down this mountain, and he just like, you know, stabs into the side of the mountain to try to stop himself from falling, and you realize it's just all faces that are like writhing in pain. So he's just like carving through all this like people's faces, and like blood's going everywhere. It's fucking metal as shit. The main bad guys are these monsters called the God Hand that look kind of like anime versions of Cenobites. Like, it's pretty wild. I really enjoyed all three movies. The only thing I will say is that I was disappointed to find out after I watched these movies, because I think I told you they were planning on making like the whole series with these movies, but they never did because the studio went tits up. So after watching this, I kept hearing about the Guts. I keep saying Guts. The Berserk anime from the early 90s. People are like, that's the best one to watch. So I go to watch that, and lo and behold, it's the Golden Age story arc again. So it's like, I didn't watch it because like I just saw all this stuff like animated better now. So it's like, eh. But yeah, Berserk the Golden Age trilogy. Check it out on Netflix. Definitely.
Before I forget, Alec, can you watch a movie for me? I want to know what you think of this movie really bad.
Watch a movie?
Yeah, let me write it down.
Okay.
What is?
It's called Streets of Fire. It's on Netflix
it's
now.
On Netflix, hell yeah.
Yeah.
Streets of Fire.
Yeah.
Yeah,
you're either gonna love this movie or absolutely hate it. I've got to know either way.
Yeah, I have no idea what he's gonna think about that one.
What's that about?
I love it. It's like a weird, like, like kind of like greaser fight movie, but it takes place in like this like dimension, almost like it's like unstuck in time dimension. And what the hell is the actress that plays Ellen Aim? There's like a woman singer. It's like a kind of neo noir kind of / greaser biker movie from the 80s.
It was the basis for what Streets of Rage was based on.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, what is her name? Fuck. Leah Thompson? Is that who it is?
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah.
Leah Thompson from Howard the Duck?
I believe so, yeah. And Willem Dafoe's the bad guy.
Yeah, he's Dafoe.
And Rip Moranis is in it too.
I'm something of a Streets of Fire myself.
All right.
That joke will never get old for anything Willem Dafoe ever does. No, you can put anything in it. It doesn't matter.
Yeah, it's hilarious. A rumor is that he's going to be in...
it's a Diane Lane. I'm sorry, not
close enough.
Leah Thompson. Yeah.
The rumor is that he's the villain in the next Spider-Man movie, which would be very cool. I just hope they give him a new suit. Like, I hate it.
Yeah, that suit sucks.
Like,
yeah, they can MCU that suit up.
Yeah, it was very of its time.
He was great in the movie, but like that suit
was it even of its time? I remember when I first saw it, like I was like, ugh.
I don't know, all that hard plastic and shit. Like it's, I don't know. It just kind of
so.
Yeah.
All right, let's get into our future
I guess
presents.
what the fuck else would they have done?
Yeah, I actually saw a trailer for Black Widow, and I wasn't like not impressed. I actually kind of want to see it.
Oh, I'm excited for that. When's that? July? Is that next week?
Yeah, like the 9th.
It's like right after the 4th, like 2 weeks, 3 weeks maybe.
And it's coming to Disney Plus or just theaters?
Both.
Disney Plus with the premium, like you got to pay like $30.
Yeah, I might as well just go to the theater.
No, you don't.
Oh, sweet.
No. But yeah, Marvel's got that, Shang-Chi, Eternals, and Spider-Man all coming out before the end of the year.
That's insane.
Shit.
That's fucking insane.
Not to mention whatever other shows they have roll out.
Yeah, that Eternals.
If they have anything else after Loki.
That Eternals trailer bored the piss out of me. I was more interested in the Kumail Nanjiani steroid debate.
Yeah, he's definitely on the game.
All those guys are on fucking steroids. Like, there's no chance they're not.
Well, hopefully Hollywood starts steroid testing so we can keep movies pure.
Have you ever tried to hold a helicopter from taking off on a launch pad with your bare arms?
I mean,
you'd need steroids too.
I've never had to fly off a motorcycle and stab Agent Zero through a helicopter.
All right, time for our feature presentation. Visionary director Zack Snyder's Dawn of the Dead.
Who now, I want to say, may have never made a good movie.
Yeah. I was really, I remember, I guess I'm just going to go ahead and say, I'm going to go ahead and say it, dude. I remember liking this movie, but I found this to be a tedious experience watching this film today. I don't know. It was very, very boring. But
I didn't find it tedious. I just found it.
Oh, yeah, I kind of did. And
extra.
Also, like, I don't know if it was a problem with the transfer or whatever, but I don't remember the movie being this dark, like, actual, like, lighting-wise dark. Because there are parts of it that are just flat out impossible to see.
Yeah. All right. Who wants to do
some of
the thing? Go ahead, Alex. I'm sorry.
No, I was going to say, some of the scenes, like, in the tunnel and shit were...
Yeah.
Like, you could barely tell what was going on. I don't think it was that dark originally.
I did not have an issue. Like, I watched my unrated director's cut poverty disc version of it, and I didn't have any. I didn't have any issues with the. I didn't notice any like, I guess brightness issues.
Okay.
It might have just. I mean, I think the Blu-ray rip that I got was like 720p. That might be why.
So few P.
Give me more P.
I need that P.
All right, I know you do, buddy. Who wants to do the thing? Gogs, you do it.
Okay. Movie. How's the movie fucking open? The movie
it opens with.
Does it open in the hospital?
Yeah, it opens.
There wasn't like some bit before that. All right,
so it opens in the hospital, and then it cuts to Muslims at a temple for some reason.
So
the fuck was that?
So
that's Zack Snyder.
That's Zack Snyder. His message. So Sarah Polly is working in the hospital. She's on
sucks,
and she's like on hour 12 of a 12-hour shift.
I thought her super cute though.
I thought she's cute.
She's adorable, but she's terrible in the movie.
Anything? Like, was she ever in anything else?
She was in Go.
I think
I remember Go. Oh, shit. I forgot.
Was she on a show or something?
I think she started directing.
Oh.
No
or
shit.
writing or something.
Did she ever get a crack?
Oh yeah, didn't she makes those like fucking mumblecore movies like Tiny Houses or Tiny Shoes or Tiny Furniture, whatever the fuck that movie's called.
Well, there we go.
It's all three: tiny houses, tiny shoes, tiny furniture.
Yeah.
Right. So
yeah,
go ahead. I'm sorry.
Okay, the last thing she acted in was in 2010.
Yeah, I know. I looked that up too. She hasn't done anything in a minute. I can't believe this movie's 17 years old, might add. So anyway, you're at the hospital. She's talking to some doctor. He's an asshole. He's trying to plan a boat or a yacht or whatever. And she's like,
a boat.
So she's like, she's saying something about got to find so and so for a toxicology workup because he got bit. And we as the audience already know what this means, but them as not the audience don't. So they track this guy down. He's going to ICU for a bite and yada yada yada. She's very tired. So she drives home to the most suburban of suburbias, where she has a moment with some girl who can skate backwards, and then she parks her car at her house where her husband, who is not the guy who made the Muppet movie, but looks just like the guy who made the Muppet movie.
Yeah, I thought it was funny, and I know this came out after Shaun of the Dead, right? Had to have.
Before.
Did it?
Yeah, I think this came out right before Shaun of the Dead.
Well, I thought he looked kind of like Peter Serafinowicz or whatever. How do you say that guy's name?
Yeah, kind of.
And he was the first guy that got bit in Shaun of the Dead. I thought that was kind of funny.
Same year, it turns out. Both were 2004 zombie bangers.
I remember, this is a side tangent, but I remember the first time I watched Shaun of the Dead, it was on a shitty DVD, like a bootleg DVD. And
I bought it at Comic-Con.
We watched it at Alex's apartment in York, like a million years ago. You remember that shit, Alex?
Absolutely. That was like,
so much fun.
It was my first experience with Shaun of the Dead and my first experience with the pirated DVD.
So much good times.
So she goes home. They have they have a moment over American Idol. They pork in the shower. Yes.
Does this beginning remind you of that Resident Evil movie we watched like a lot?
Yeah, it did.
That Resident Evil movie came out after this, I believe.
Yeah. So there's lots of like little like bits of like subtle chaos, like something's a bit off, like
subtle chaos.
Like there's like the ambulance are running around, and there's like she's like listening to like the radio when it's like reports of this or that. Like it's classic. It's classic.
I don't
subtle,
know why, but like Gogs is gonna start a progressive rock band called Subtle Chaos.
It's the nuanced Zack Snyder filmmaking we've all come to enjoy, where he's just leaving us little breadcrumbs of things to come.
Well, I'm gonna tell you that I thought this intro was the best part of the movie.
I love this intro.
Part of all of his movies, like it's the only part he's good at.
I love this. Like so.
Yeah, that dolly shot they do where they whip around the neighborhood is all this shit's going on.
Scene.
It's awesome.
I think it's great.
It was really cool.
I love the husband like chasing her, but as soon as he sees your prey, just peel it off.
But that shot, like from the dash or from the hood of the car, looking back, right?
Yeah, that was cool.
Yeah.
I mean, it's real. Like, it's a good way to start the movie. Like, I don't know, the intro. I think I will get into this obviously as we go on, but I think like this is one of those movies now, and again, it's rather old. I think that like when you think about this movie, you think about this part. Like you think about like this part rocks, and then you don't remember the part where it just keeps on going. I was like, because I was watching with subtitles, I was like very distracted by trying to figure out if her husband was Mexican because he's subtitled as Louis Luis. I was like, I don't know why I got so stuck on that, but
isn't that how you spell Louis?
No, Louis generally.
Oh, it's
like Louis. Yeah.
Fair enough. All right. So they bang in a shower. Next morning, the little girl that was skating backwards now has her face all fucked up, and her boy does what everyone would do in that scenario, and he goes to rush to her. Then he gets his neck fucking chomped. Blood everywhere. Pretty cool scene. She's trying to figure out what that. She's like I liked her in this scene. She's like showing genuine panic. I liked all of this bit. Then she's all freaked out, and he pops up. She goes in the bathroom. She forgets how windows work for about, 30 seconds.
This is just the beginning of these characters doing very dumb things. This is like the horror movie trope of characters just forgetting how to do anything.
Yeah, this is the Cabin in the Woods stupid gas portion of the movie.
So then Lewis does a Here's Johnny. She goes through the window. She did remember to grab her car keys first. She had a little situational awareness there. Then you get this really cool scene of her, first she walks out into her front yard, and her neighbor is just he's like those two, that lawyer couple in St. Louis, just waving a gun around anyone who's near his yard. And then
he didn't get a chance to run for state senate though.
No, he did not. he got smashed by a car, right? Like a car rolls
an ambulance or something.
Ambulance, yeah.
Significant.
Which happens, I think, again in Army of the Dead, the same exact thing.
Yeah.
Somebody's crossing the street and just gets mashed by some large truck.
Wrecked.
Yeah.
Then
that's fun.
Yeah, it is fun.
Oh yeah. So she gets in her car. She's driving.
Part of Meet Joe Black.
Nah. She gets
City of Angels.
Oh yeah, that shit's funny as hell.
God damn. Oh, also John Q. So now we're working our way.
Sucks.
Yeah, that movie was trash.
So she's driving, listening to the radio, and watching carnage all around her.
Yeah, shit's just people. Everything's on fire. People are just getting mauled in their front yards. She's driving to the city. Awesome. Yeah, it's pretty great. There's an awesome scene where it's a tracking shot. It's Denny Villanueva Sicario looking down, and then her car is just moving up the screen, and then an ambulance comes screaming across, smashes into another car, and then just hits a gas station, and just explodes.
Yeah, I would love to see the behind the scenes, how they actually set that shot up, because it must have had 3 miles of dolly going in a circle.
Yeah, it was bonkers. So then she works her way up to, she hits some sort of roadblock. She kind of takes a minute. Oh, it's like a bus. And she's watching people stumble around half fucked up.
She sees, a naked woman walks by her, and then she can see somebody getting ripped to shreds inside the back of the bus.
We lost TJ.
And then somebody tries to rip her out of her car.
Right, and then she guns it, jerks the wheel, flies through a barrier, goes down a hill. Next thing, she's woken up by she wakes up to Ving Rhames. I forgot Ving Rhames was in this movie. With a fucking shotgun. And I thought this was the movie where he's say something. And I thought the response was something, but her response was just please. What movies were they say something and the response is something?
I don't know, but it's definitely happened.
I believe it's the movie Say Something.
It was the sequel to Say Anything.
Say Something. So now you've got Ving Rhames and Sarah Polley are together. They're working their way through some sort of tunnel. They get shot at by Mekhi Phifer and this guy who's just, I'm going to call Michael, who's just plain Jane everyman. And
yeah, he sucks too.
He is unable to wrangle his British accent at all.
Oh, is that what it is?
The guy I sold televisions at Best Buy. That guy, yeah, he's got that Liam Neeson problem that it'll be there in a fortnight or whatever the fuck.
He's so focused on
on hiding his accent that he just can't do anything else.
So he's so focused on bearing his accent that he can't act.
So it's like a Benedict Cumberbatch.
British.
Yeah. Why has to be a British guy?
Or get somebody else. Because it is very distracting every time he talks.
Well, they couldn't find anyone else plain enough in the continental U.S., I guess. So
they couldn't get the guy from The Mentalist that's also doing a bad job hiding his accent in a George Romero movie.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, yeah.
Wait, I don't know that guy. I also don't know The Mentalist.
Did you ever? It's what's the Romero movie where Dennis Hopper lives in the fucking Cloud City to get away from all the zombies?
Land of the Dead.
Land of the Dead.
Yeah. Where they look at the sky flowers of fireworks.
Yeah.
Oh god, yeah.
And they also make a super truck.
That's true. Oh yeah, that's the super trucks. I do remember the Nick Kroll sketch, The Dentalist, where he could predict when you're going to have cavities or not. So they go. They're like, we're going to go to Fort Pastor. And it's like, well, don't go to Fort Pastor because everyone there is dead. We came from everywhere. Everyone else is dead.
Well,
so we're going to the mall.
That doesn't happen until later. Like, he said he was going to Fort Pastor, but he doesn't know everybody's dead till Ty Burrell shows up.
That's true. That's true.
Yeah.
Well, he wants to go to Fort Pastor because his brother is there.
Yeah.
Well, but for some reason, Mekhi Phifer and them call him off of that. They're like, we're going to the mall. So they go to the mall.
I think they just said they were trying to get there, but everything's overrun.
Oh.
Yeah. I don't. Maybe Alec will be the only one to appreciate this, but because maybe the playoffs are on, I was so distracted at how much Mekhi Phifer kind of looks like Chris Paul in this movie that it kind of fucked me up.
I mean, he was a black guy with a shaved head.
So they get to the mall. They shoot their way into it. They find some zombies. They bizarrely sort of half kill or kill those zombies. Then we work our way through the mall and get upstairs, and we meet what will be my favorite character in the entire movie, CJ, and the two dumbest security guards of all time.
What is Zack Snyder's personal issue with security guards? Like this, in every movie he has some kind of like.
What most security guards do you know that have fucking like actual revolvers?
Oh, they're in Wisconsin, so who knows? But like, the same character pops up in like most of his movies. It's Oscar Isaac in fucking Sucker Punch. It's what's his face in the movie we watched last time. It's this guy in this. Like, he loves cops but hates security guards for some reason.
Because they're fake cops.
That must be what it is.
Stolen valor cops.
Yeah,
they don't stand the blue line. They stand like the bluish line.
Yeah.
It's a teal line. And
then this mall, can we talk about how it's like an impossible like chopping mall type mall that has every kind of consumer good in history?
It's supposed to be the Mall of America, right?
No, it's in Wisconsin. It's just
that's where the Mall of America is, isn't it?
Nope, it's in Minnesota.
No, that's in Minnesota.
That's the same fucking state.
Yeah, guys
Kirby Puckett
right on this one.
would argue if he was alive, but
he's falling through time and space in that hole.
That's not Kirby Puckett.
No,
that was Ozzie Smith. Shit.
Kirby Puckett's not even in that episode.
Oh, how did Kirby Puckett not make the cut?
Those two guys' body types could not be more different.
Yeah. Well, then I guess we'll just chalk that up to regular ass racism. So, moving along. So they get to not the Mall of America. They get upstairs. They get arrested, and they get put in like Restoration Hardware. Oh wait, hold on. Before they break into the mall like the stupidest way possible. Like they break into the back of like some sort of kitschy store, and they're like, "All right, well the doors to the actual mall proper are locked. I'm gonna look at this crowbar in my hand, which is perfectly good at crowing things open."
Yeah.
And then they're like, no, let's just throw a toilet through a plate glass window. So that's what they did.
Has anyone ever been to a mall that has a full-ass hardware store in it?
No.
The
only mall I've ever been to with a full-ass hardware store in it was in Dead Rising. That's the only one. So they go there. They smash that up with a toilet. They go upstairs. There's a Twitcher and a thing. You meet these three security guards. You meet CJ, who actually sort of has a character. He's like the only person with a character arc in the entire movie.
Yeah, he's also like kind of generically evil. He's not like you remember in the original Dawn of the Dead, there's that one cop that's like super racist.
Yeah. No, CJ's he's like scared evil. Like he's like libertarian evil. He's like close the borders evil. Like that's the kind of evil. He thinks he's greater good evil. So he's like he
is an awesome actor.
I like him in this movie. I think he does a great job. I don't know what else has he been in, Alec? I know I recognize his face, but I can't place him.
He doesn't look like that almost at all anymore. Like he looks like fucking Matt Frewer, who's also in this movie now.
Yeah. He was in Chronicle. He was in the Adjustment Bureau.
Was he the fucking stepdad in Chronicle or whatever?
Yeah, the firefighter dad.
Yeah.
He's in Man of Steel as Steve Lombard, but I don't know what that is.
It's one of those cushions that you.
I think I recognize him most. I never actually watched it, but I think he was in like every episode of House of Cards. I remember him on the trailers from House of Cards.
Oh yeah, no, you're right. He was in.
I never watched that show.
He was in 72 episodes of House of Cards. So yeah, pretty good run. So they go upstairs. They get locked into some place that doesn't have a real bathroom. They're watching TV about how the world's coming again. Oh, I skipped right over to the Johnny Cash montage of everything going wrong. There's a couple of interviews.
That song.
That's a good song.
That's a perfect song for
the imagery that goes on. The imagery that's happening is a little on the nose, but it's fine.
Well, yeah, he should only make
some stock footage from somewhere. You can't.
He should only make like narrative music videos. That should be his whole gig. Is just make a 2-hour music video.
And basically, it's what he does. Like, there's a lot. This movie is less scored than other movies, but it's still pretty heavily scored.
Hey, Johnny Cash, we need 22 more verses for this song. I can make a long ass music video.
I can do it. I'm not dead yet.
Yeah, I'm Zombie Cash. So
hello, I'm Zombie Cash.
So then, they're like, so Michael does a little like a woke inception. And plants the idea in CJ's head that we should paint the roof. They go to the roof. There's like almost an implied oral sex rape thing going on. And then everyone takes over and gets all the guns and now locks the security guards up in the actual like holding cell with a leather couch.
Yeah, they got legit cells in this mall, which is insane.
Yeah. So then,
I mean, is it more insane than a football stadium having jail cells? I guess, yeah, it is.
Yeah, it's a little more insane.
Yeah, I mean, you don't expect people to get that drunk at the mall, I don't think.
Yeah. So then,
I didn't see any Ruby Tuesdays at that mall.
So now they
just have a coffee place called Hallowed Grounds because Zack Snyder can't lay off the apocalypse shit for 2 seconds.
It's a touch. Just it's that subtle. It's that nuance that we're here for.
Yeah.
So then a truckload of just people come whipping around the mall, presumably seeing the SOS signs on the roof and on the side of the building.
Yeah, but this part is this is like the beginning of them just doing dumb shit, right? Because they're trying to survive. They have no fucking clue as who is in this fucking truck. And they're like, let him in. Like, no, why would you ever let him anybody?
Well, Sarah Polly explains they're driving a truck and they're shooting guns, so they can't be zombies.
But they could come in the fucking shoot you. Like, like, it's a terrible idea.
I hear you, CJ. Don't get me wrong. I'm right with you, baby. So they let him in. They have, so now the diverse cast has been expanded to be, so we start out with an African-American cop, an African-American gentleman and his Russian wife, a nurse, and the security guards, and just a regular, like the most cookie cutter, just white guy of all time. And now we're introduced to old white woman, fat old white woman.
Yeah, hold on, time out right now. It isn't just fat old white woman. It is fat, dead-looking white woman in a wheelbarrow. It's like, I understand at this point in the movie they don't understand that, like, how the zombie shit works. But this bitch looks like a goddamn zombie. Like, she's donezo. Like,
also, it brings in a bunch of characters to add, like, drama, which doesn't work because you only see the characters for 10 seconds. Like, I don't even give a fuck about the people that are already in the movie, let alone this van load of people you just dropped off.
Yeah. So you get, added to the mix now, you got old trucker lady, you've got sex woman, you've got
Max Headroom and daughter.
You got asshole man, Max Headroom plus daughter. You've got gay organist who does not believe in God.
Can we talk real quick?
Possible trucker. Go ahead.
Yeah, since you mentioned it, like his weird gay exposition where the guy's like, "Oh my god, he's talking about a guy's pretty eyes. I'm gonna kill myself."
What scene where he's confessing to like the guards?
What
and
the fuck is that scene?
Why
is it very weird?
Also, that guy, I like too, later on in the movie, the gay guy is also the atheist, so it's like, that's a weird thing to pepper in there. It's like, I don't know.
He also is trying on women's shoes, because gay guys are
he's gay.
He's trying on women's shoes to down with the sickness, which I feel like is a very weird message to send.
That was a very small part of the Down with the Sickness montage.
Yeah, I don't think that Zack Snyder is making a direct correlation to putting that song in a movie about a zombie infection to like HIV infection. I think I get it. Just,
I wasn't even taking HIV. I was just saying like that, like just the perversion of being gay. Yes, exactly.
Well, that's the way
you did have that earlier scene where Ken Foray had a cameo. And he's like this preacher. He's like, "Oh, we got this virus because we're gay, and we have."
But there's never. It's weird because they have that in there, which you're like, okay, yeah, that would happen. But there's nothing to refute it in the movie, which is really weird. Mm-hmm. That it just kind of hangs there, and also the Muslims temple that somebody mentioned earlier, like
that part was just in the opening montage, but it's like for what? Why? It's very strange.
And I skipped over before the turntables and the guards got locked up. They were jacking off to Tom Savini fucking killing zombies and burning them.
Yeah, he's terrible in that 2 seconds he's in the movie too.
Yeah, he's bad. So now
you got Tom Savini, you got Ken Foray, and you got the other cop is in the movie from the original.
Yeah, Ken Foray was the lead cop in the
original Dawn.
I forget the white cop's name from Dawn, but he's in it too for a minute. He's on the news, so they fit in a couple classic guys.
So because of this fresh classic horror guys. So because of this new crop of survivors, they're able to put 2 and 2 together that the bites are what caused you to be a zombie. So now we get the added drama of Max Headroom has been bit. I always think of him as also the neighbor from Honey, I Shrunk the Kids.
He's also in a really good episode of Star Trek: The Next Generation where he's like an intergalactic con man.
He's a good actor. He's been a lot of shit over the years.
He's like one of those just like character actors that no one knows his name.
He's also a good Tom Noonan type. He is Moloch. I wonder if that's why
Probably. He was also the villain in the. This is going to take you in the way back machine. He was the villain in the Generation X Fox TV pilot.
Oh shit!
Oh my god!
Yeah.
Wow, I have no idea what those words meant.
Sucked.
Yeah, it was not good. I was so excited to watch it though when it came out.
I didn't realize it ever aired. I've only ever seen like bootleg copies of it.
Yeah,
I've never actually.
It aired because I taped it off of TV. Again, but these kids today won't understand how starved we were for comic book like content like that back in the day.
Because I probably watched it then and was like, that wasn't bad.
Yeah, I think I liked it at the time.
Remember when they made a Mutant X TV show that they bought the rights to the name, but it had nothing to do with the Mutant X or X-Men shit at all?
At all, but it still had like a Marvel produced credit. It was very strange. Yeah.
Well, so the movie progresses as movies tend to do. There's scenes now people are worried about. So now you've got Mekhi Phifer and his girl are sequestering themselves because she's been bit. There's a weird scene where Mekhi Phifer tries to confess to Ving Rhames in a bathroom for reasons that I don't understand.
What is that?
That's do 10 Hail Marys and wash your ass.
Yeah, I was like, what is going on here?
Well, also like the Mekhi Phifer's character is weird because like there's a point where he's like this generic white guy sucks. Why are we following a guy that sells TVs? And Bing like, I feel better following him than a guy that steals TVs. So I guess it's implied that Mekhi Phifer is like a thief or a gangbanger or something, and it's like that's never really explained.
Yeah, like how do they know? Am I to understand that they have a prior relationship or something? Like
I don't know. They the only thing you know about his character is he had a pregnant wife. That's like his entire character. Yeah. Like they never expand on him at all.
Well, it's Ving Rhames' ultimate deductive reasoning. Eventually, it comes out. I want to call Nikki Cat. Ty Burrell, fucking Phil Dunphy from Modern Family, is like, which is like, it's so wild to see him in this movie and then watch that show because they're completely different people. He's like, oh, you don't go to the fort, whatever. Everyone there's a fucking dead or dead-ish, and then fucking Ving Rhames wants to peace out anyway, but he decides not to. And then there's a weird like eulogy for the fallen, and they chunk
oh my god, dude! Ving Rhames' monologue here is maybe the worst monologue in the history of movies. It's so bad, and I love Ving Rhames, but What the fuck was
He's
that?
trying to be Mac from Predator, and it's not working out. Like,
No, not at all.
It's real
Then I
bad.
found out that there's worse things than being dead. Like this bitch. Like,
Yeah.
what are you doing? Okay.
Yeah. Meanwhile, they're playing chess across a 2-mile span with a right-wing nut job who's just shooting zombies that vaguely resemble celebrities of the time.
The best part of the movie. Also, like, I was thinking when I was watching it, that if it was a whole movie of just him and Ving Rhames on a roof, like,
that's a better movie,
survive,
like a
much
small,
better movie. Yeah,
like a super small movie.
yeah,
Yeah.
Like my apocalypse with Andy.
yeah. Basically, yeah. I'm into that.
Supposedly, because when I was fucking around like online, apparently there's like the Andy tapes, the Lost Files. Apparently there's some sort of like side movie about what like his events that happened in the gun shop.
I think it was a million years ago. They released it. It was like a web series. You remember when they used to do that back in the old days? Yeah.
So then they're like, all right, we're either get busy living or get busy dying because this is Zack Snyder's Shawshank Redemption. And they decide that they're going to go rescue Andy, the gun Dufresne, and get the fuck out of here on Ty Burrell's boat. So then they literally have an A-team montage. At some point there's some generators and the one like douchebag, there's 3 security guards. There's CJ, who I like. There's like just this simp beta, and then there's this wannabe redneck dork. And the wannabe redneck dork gets devoured. So now they're going to go have a moment. They have a legit A-team building the linchpin of the entire plan together montage.
An impossible amount of supplies to build these trucks in this mall.
Like, I think they made the trucks weaker to make them stronger. Like they cut out key elements of the trucks just to put them back in. Like I was like, what are we doing? They
cut out like steel frame to put in like what do you call it, aluminum studs on the side.
Point, the roof of one of them was missing, and I was like, why and how? And then where did you get that snowplow blade? And if you had a snowplow, why not drive the snowplow? Am I led to believe that your passenger shuttle that you have for a mall for some reason is capable of plowing that much snow?
That? Yeah, that thing wouldn't even go anywhere. Like the fucking plow would weigh the whole thing down.
Yeah, that thing's probably got if it's got a 200 horsepower motor, I'd be amazed. And yet, here's where we are. And they've got all the propane in the world.
Yeah.
I don't understand. And this mall is equipped with welding material. This mall is very well equipped. So
it's like they're running a chop shop out of the bottom of the mall.
Right. So they've set this timetable. Like they're telling Andy it'll be 5 days till we get to leave, even though it looks like they're substantially complete. I guess it's just punch list items on these trucks.
I wanted to ask you, or anybody that was paying attention, why did they pick 5 days? Like, what was the thing that was holding them back from leaving immediately?
It should be like Bethesda. It's ready when it's ready. Like, we're not going to give you a release date. Like, it's going to happen.
What did they have to get their mall affairs in order? Like, what is the 5-day thing for?
If you don't stay in the mall for 30 days, you can't claim squatters' rights when society comes
shit.
back.
They're gonna prorate the rent.
Yes, CJ actually owns the mall now.
Oh, dear.
He was there the longest.
It's a fiefdom, and now he's the lord of the manor. So they're like 5 more days, and Andy's like, "But I'm hungry, though." So they have Operation Sandwich Drop, and they send a dog.
Yeah, they find a dog in the basement. We didn't.
Yeah, they found a dog in the basement. Before a zombie did like some like American Ninja Warrior shit, like jumped on this dude
with no legs. Somehow he climbed up. The zombie climbed up on like pipes in the top of a garage. But he had no lower torso, so I don't know how he got up there.
This was like some Left 4 Dead custom zombie shit.
Did you ever, like a dangler? Honestly, through most of the movie, feel like that they were in any danger at all? Like
the scene where they're coming back through the sewers and they're having that Alien 4 moment where the guy's getting dragged with the 2 guns. I thought that was kind of fun. They just make a lot of dumb choices. So anyway, they send the dog over there. The only reason
they're ever in any danger is because they do really stupid shit.
That's true.
But you don't know what you would what you would do.
I would cower. I would be fine until we ran out of food because I would just be clawed up in a hole somewhere, not talking to anybody, as per normal.
Yeah, I would have found the Suncoast video in that mall and just gone through and all the good movies. So I would have
just jacking off.
Really, it wouldn't have been any different than my normal.
Yeah.
But it could be a zombie apocalypse right now.
Yeah.
So they send the food over there. The zombies get in. Andy over the radio, because now they have a walkie-talkie. He's like, "Man, I can't wait to meet you. Man, these zombies bite hard." He keeps saying it just in case you missed it. And he mentions it 3 times. But then Nicole, this is
arguably the stupidest part of the fucking movie.
Yes.
So then Max Headroom's daughter is like, "Oh no, my dog I just met. He's all I have left." Which, like, Terry, the Simp security guard, had to be like, "Hey." And then they jump in the truck and she drives over there and she gets in and now she's being assaulted by zombie Andy. So now you have a gun wielding super zombie for a minute.
Andy turned real quick.
The
rules on this don't work very well.
Oh, I forgot that Luda, who turned very slowly, gave birth. Nice. She gave birth to a zombie baby, and it resulted in a gun shootout. In like Kids Are Us.
I hate this scene. I hate
the realest effects you've ever seen. Also, why did that gunfight like turn into some kind of art house thing for 2 seconds?
Yeah, well, and also like the entire scene is fucking stupid, right? Like the zombie baby in general, it's a dumb idea. I'm sorry, it's a dumb.
But they keep doing it,
and then like Mekhi Phifer's like, I don't know, I guess he like broke. He had like a psychotic break because like it's like, "You want to hurt my family?" And then he decides to shoot it just seems like lazy writing. It's just like, well we need to get rid of these characters. Like
how she can't hit Mekhi Phifer anywhere but the shoulder, but she can put one right in this writhing woman's bean from across the room.
People are getting brained left, right, and center. Like people are like,
it's not as bad as Army of the Dead though, where they were literally just pinging them left and every shot was a headshot.
Well, those are trained military veterans,
and YouTubers.
But that YouTuber, that's his whole shtick.
Yeah.
So now they got to do a sewer. So here's a question: if they could have just gone through the sewers to get to Andy in the first place, why didn't they do that?
Because it smelled like doo-doo.
Oh, okay. So they go, and I don't know how many malls have just like an open, like grate, like steel door to like the municipal sewer system.
I'll answer your question. The number is 0.
Okay, cool. So they get over there. They reckon their way through the sewers. God knows how. They pop out. They explode. They use a propane bomb. They blow shit up. They get in there. They
the
kill
realest explosion you ever saw.
They kill Andy. They load up on ammunition. They come back through the sewers. People get shot. Tucker, the trucker, gets eaten like a motherfucker, and they run their way through the mall, and it's like, time to go. So everyone loads up in one of the 2 trucks, and it's off to the races. And now they're driving through the sea of humanity. There's another big-ass explosion. They're getting all whippity-gibbets down through the place, and I forget what happens that causes the one truck to, like, lose control. Was there someone? There was a zombie hanging off the back side of it or something.
And somehow the gay guy like cuts the woman in half. With
right. Ving Rhames took a turn too hard. The gay guy sliced the sex lady in half. The truck just makes there's a weird cut. It makes it like a Dukes of Hazzard through the air, twisting, smash them up. And then they're like, "Oh, we got to go back and get him." So they throw the other truck in reverse. And then Ty Burrell was a dick and he escaped, but he got bit and he got turned. And then Ving Rhames gets out and he's like, "Ty Burrell left us." And then they're like, okay. And then Ty Burrell's back and they shoot him in the head. And then Sarah Polly grabs his keys. And that's a callback for the time that Sarah Polly said she was going to shoot Ty Burrell in the head. And then they make their way back into the truck and then back to they somehow get to the pier and they're in the land of 1,000 lakes, which is whatever state they're in, Minnesota or Wisconsin.
Correct, or in Wisconsin.
Doesn't matter. So now
the land of no lakes.
Pretty sure there's not islands loose in Wisconsin like that. Could be wrong. Also, this is the worst plan in the history of plans.
Right. So they get there and they get on the boat, and his boat's probably named something like the Nasty Bitch or something like that because he has no class. And we got to drive that home. They find his sex tapes. Meanwhile, Michael helps shove them off because he got bit and he wants to just die seeing the sunrise and have a lead sandwich. So he blows himself away, and now they're set adrift. And then you get a montage of them trying to find islands, and all they find is a boat with a head in a cooler for some reason.
Yeah, don't know what that's about.
And then they get on some other island, and it's full of zombies. And then the movie just kind of ends, so it's sort of hopeless.
Well, it's also like that fucking credit back and forth is like the worst thing I've ever seen. Like, it is impossible to watch. Like, enough.
Wait, let me see if Wisconsin's got to have an island or two. There's some islands out there.
I'm sure. Probably.
They're out there just chilling out off of Bark Point and wherever else.
Well, doesn't Wisconsin connect to like one of the Great Lakes? Like those lakes are gigantic.
It's got two of them. It's got Michigan and Superior.
That's why they're great.
Lake Michigan is like a fucking ocean.
Make lakes great again. All right. So what do we want to talk about? I mean,
you know how like the original Land of the Dead was about stuff, where it was about like consumerism and fucking like
this is not none of
like
that.
the real monster. Yeah, well, they have that like one line that they ripped right from the original one, where it's like, oh, maybe some kind of leftover memories, someplace where they used to be happy or some shit.
No, you're slightly incorrect on that.
Okay,
because it drove me insane. So he kind of says that, but then the last thing he says in that scene is maybe they're coming for us, and it's like.
Yeah.
No, that's not the point. Also, like, they show the zombies, but they just show a shot of the zombies in the parking lot, whereas, like, you would show the mall. Like, showing the mall would make more sense. But again, this movie is not really a remake. Like, it is, I guess, in, like, its bare structure, like, but it's not, like, it's a remake that's devoid of anything that made the original good.
You're also missing like the biker gang, like the humanity's the real monster part of it too.
Yeah, well, I mean, the first
humanity's the real monster, except for the millions of monsters outside.
Except for the other monsters, right?
I mean, the original.
And, like,
it's like the original's like a procedural. Like they kind of make their own society, like, or not society.
There's also like a lot of like about, because they go through those like Black and Hispanic neighborhoods and like the comparative zombie like plague, and then the fucking how they won't leave the mall. They're trapped by like, there's a lot more of them fucking around in the mall. Like, hey, we got everything we need. Like in this one, they're like, we got to get out of the mall for reasons.
Yeah. The only reason that they even broach getting out of the mall in the original is because the fucking biker gang comes and fucks everything up.
Yeah, and they abandon the one girl to go play with their fucking roller skates and shit in the original.
Yeah, that's right. This movie is, I mean, it's fitting, right? Because it's Zack Snyder, but it's all flash. It's all sizzle, no steak. Like it's just full of stuff, but it doesn't
there's less speed ramps in it than I anticipated, which was good.
But there are a lot of like, and I guess I'm hyper aware of this shit now because of fucking Army of the Dead, but like he loves his fucking out of focus like close-up shots. He does it a bunch in this movie. Like anytime somebody points a gun, it's got to be like, I hated it.
And that blue filter,
it's in focus, just in focus on the gun.
Yeah. It's a soft focus.
This movie's really ugly, like looking. You know what I mean? Like it's just like, you know how 28 Days Later was shot on like a consumer camera, and it's got that weird kind of washed out look because of the camera they used. It's interesting. This just looks like grimy, like that same kind of like, oh, let's make everything look like Seven kind of grimy.
Yeah, a little bit.
Yeah.
I kind of thought, like, when I was starting the movie and it said story by James Gunn, I was like, oh, okay, cool. Well, maybe that'll be like the saving grace of this, is that the story, like James Gunn wrote it, but not as much.
I guess he's come out and said that
a couple of other guys took like passes at it.
Yeah, they changed it a lot apparently.
Yeah, he's come out and said that his initial script was like very different.
Also, a lot of gay panic in this movie, weirdly. Not even just the obvious one, but the other where it's like, I wanted a soy. He orders like the most
he orders a soy, and
ever. You know what I mean? Like, just impossible, like, stereotype coffee. Like, that's where they drop the hard F that... and that guy gets killed, so fine, I guess. But, like, that... It just doesn't... Why is that there?
It's very weird. Well, that coupled with the weird preacher thing, it's like all that stuff is very strange. Like,
and it wasn't even like the guy was like, yeah, I remember the first time I ate a guy's asshole and the shit fell all over my mouth. You know what I mean? It was like he had the prettiest eyes. They're like, ooh, gay bitch, get away from me.
But like, it'd be one thing if maybe the movie was trying to say something about all that, but it's just kind of there. I don't even know why it's putting him there. You know. What were you saying, Gogs?
No, that scene where the confessional scene where they're like taking their shirts off and doing push-ups. It's just very fucking weird. Like there's lots of just like I'm serious. The only character in the entire movie that has any sort of development is CJ kind of coming around and turning into like less of a piece of shit. And then he ultimately has like a Vasquez moment at the end and then blows himself up. Like, but that's like
Zack Snyder loves him a Vasquez moment too.
He loves a Vasquez moment. He fucking he just manja. Like I don't know. I don't care about any of these people. Like
it's impossible to identify with. Like I think we're talking about the Max Headroom. It's like he's introduced and disposed of in like 2 minutes.
Like he was introduced with his daughter earlier, and then he's bitten in the middle of the movie, and that's like if he's got the Michael arc, it's better.
If he did, yeah.
If he did, right? But no, like it's just like there's not the zombies are not like there's not enough. If you're gonna just make it not about the humanity breaking down aspect, which when I've come, it took me forever to realize, and probably you guys repeating it to like that's and like I guess Walking Dead drives this point home, right? The story, the zombies are backdrop. The zombies are just whatever. It's really about the human stuff that makes it interesting. 28 Days Later does that really well. It's Shaun of the Dead does that, but Shaun of the Dead's an outstanding zombie movie, so I can't say nothing about that. But like he doesn't make the humanity stuff that interesting, so he should lean into the zombie shit more, and he doesn't do that either. Like you
don't really know. Like I couldn't. There's a thing that Red Letter did a million years ago when they did all the Star Wars prequels where they asked people like to name something about prequel characters that wasn't their gender, their profession. I forget what the third one is.
What they look like. You describe them like emotionally, yeah.
Yeah, and like I if you did the same thing with any of these characters, I couldn't tell you a thing about any of these characters. Now, if you go back to the original Dawn of the Dead, I can tell you a lot about those 4 characters because they're fleshed out like pretty well. You know what I mean? They're actually well-written characters.
The funny thing about Romero in those movies, and I don't know how honest this is like he said like he didn't make message movies on purpose. So this is all just him like naturally writing a movie. You know what I mean? Right. And it's in there, and here it's like, what is this movie about?
Yeah, absolutely. I don't know anything else for you in the 5 Knuckle Shuffles. I'm very sorry. No. Alec, this is your pick out.
It's an 18. I love this movie. I loved it when I was younger. Yes, 8. I loved it when I was younger. I loved it again now. I think it's a very impressive isn't the word, but a very competent movie for a first-time movie director. Like, there's a lot of stuff that you guys complain about different shots and things, but for somebody that this is his first time making a feature-length film, I think he did pretty good. Considering he didn't know anything about it, to the point that I read on IMDb, and I can't find the citation for it, so I don't know if it's actually true. He filmed this entire movie in chronological order.
Weird.
He just thought that's how you made movies. He had never made a movie before, so he started filming from scene 1 in the hospital. That was the first scene they shot, and they went right along in order. He didn't understand that you don't do that.
Yeah, no.
They usually start at the end and work your way back, or
Yeah,
it's not necessary to be.
A lot of times they do it around like locations and stuff like that.
Yeah.
Stuff
Yeah.
like that.
Well, apparently the mall they used was set to be demolished.
Oh,
So they just like that wasn't really an issue. Like it was going to be demolished.
He
They
just made a
rented it
movie
out or whatever.
like how a little kid would make a movie.
Yeah,
Yeah.
this happens,
Yeah.
then this happens, then this happens.
yeah.
I'd do it.
Well, like I enjoyed it a lot. I still enjoy it a lot. If Zack Snyder only made zombie movies, he might be like my favorite director of all time, apparently. But he makes other stuff too, so
Yeah, he does.
he's not up there. Yeah, I know I'm the outlier here, but whatever. I'm used to that.
Hey.
God,
Wild card.
You got to do you, baby.
Actually, I'm still in the 6-7 camp on this movie. I remember loving this movie when I was younger, and it's a very young man's 2004 movie. Like it's a very as I watched it, I was like, I can see why young me really, really loved this. And there's still parts of it I really like, and there's still parts. I mean, it's got a ton of flaws, but I didn't hate it. I enjoyed watching it again. It's just like it's like, you never go home again. Like it's like I just didn't. It wasn't like when we I was worried this was going to happen when we rewatched The Crow, and turned out that movie still slapped. And then I was worried what was going to happen when I rewatched Krull, which was, oh my God, what have I done? And
Krull is so bad.
So
definitely not a Krull moment.
No, this is not a Krull moment. So this is like, I'm gonna go 7. Like this movie has a shit ton of flaws, but I still kind of find it fun and stupid. And it's not. If you had asked me, like, what do you think you're gonna rate this before you watched it again? I'd probably be like, oh, it's probably like a 9. Like I remember really, really, really liking this movie. But it's definitely got a little tarnish on it now. There's still some cool. That opening sequence is still a fucking banger. Like it's really well done. I didn't think Sarah Polley was that bad in it. I liked CJ in it. There's some real dumb shit in it, but there's like little glimpses of cool stuff. So yeah, it's a 7. Sean,
I'm gonna give it a 2. And like real quick for this movie, it's almost unfair because it's got two things going against it. It's a remake of a movie I really love, like whether or not it's a full ass remake or whatever. And it's also, this isn't fair to the movie, but I've dragged everything I know about Zack Snyder into watching this movie. So every time it does something Zack Snyder-ish, like it turns me off immediately. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like Gogs and you guys, when I watched it when I was 24, I was like, oh, this movie's a lot of fun. Like it's, because I hadn't seen anything, but now like knowing his lane, it's like it's so Zack Snyder. You know what I mean? Like it's very idiosyncratic. I found it like almost unwatchable. I watched a half an hour of it and shut it off yesterday, and then came back to it. It's just like it's hard to see. Like it's weirdly constructed. And I guess honestly, after hearing Alec talk about it, I'd much more be interested in watching like a feature-length documentary on the making of this movie and how he made it than the movie itself. Like the fact that he shot this sequentially is fascinating.
Yeah, that is super weird.
But no, I really didn't like this movie at all. And again, like I love the original Dawn of the Dead, and I'm just Zack Snyder'd out at this point. You know, like I did actually quite a bit enjoy the Snyder cut of that Justice League movie because it's like a pinnacle of everything he's ever done, and it's so weird and long and shouldn't exist. But like this is just like, it feels really boilerplate too. It feels very much like, I forget who mentioned like 90s horror, but it does feel like all the I Know What You Did, like it was
of its time, right? Like it's
not, I think TJ said it's not, or you said it, it's not interesting enough with the characters, but it's not gory enough to not be about the characters. It's too much of a boy for Crazy Town, too crazy for Boys Town kind of thing. Yeah. Like I fucking hated this. TJ.
I'm gonna echo a lot of things you said. It's a 2 for me, dog. I came in, I thought I was expecting to like this movie. This used to be the one. This and 300 were the 2 Zack Snyder movies. Like they're pretty good. I don't know if it's. I think you actually took the words right out of my mouth. I think that now I just can't. I can't distance everything else Zack Snyder has done from anything else now. So every time I every time I watch something he does now, I just get drawn to all the other things that he's done. It's just like it just drives me crazy. Because I can't stand the way he directs movies. I find it fucking ponderous, like the way he decides to shoot stuff. I hate how he edits things. I felt like this movie has a very soggy middle because it like the original Dawn of the Dead also has a very slow middle, but they spend that time developing the characters, and they really do like the movie almost the original almost stops because they get to a place where it's like, wow, maybe we can make this work, and that's when everything goes to hell. It's a pretty clever way to do it. This movie does the same thing, but they don't do anything with the characters. I don't care about any of these characters at all. The leader, the most genericest king generic white guy. I don't know why you decide. Like, I guess the point of his character is that he's just John Everyman and he sells TVs at Best Buy. But like, why is that compelling? Like, at all?
Well, he's good at nothing else except the apocalypse.
He's not even that.
He's not really good at that either.
But he's better at the apocalypse than anything else. He's been fired from the apocalypse.
Like, if anything, and the other thing is that, like, so you got CJ, who's like, I forget who said it, probably Sean. He's an asshole, but he's not really that much of an asshole. Like, it's way more interesting if he's like cartoonishly evil, and they have to work with him. Like, he's like a Negan, like from Walking Dead. Like, he's so fucking awful to deal with, but they have to figure out compromises because they got to survive with him.
Well, that's Ty Burrell's character, basically, right?
He's not, though. He doesn't do anything. He's an asshole that fucks people.
Yeah, like in a better movie, Ty Burrell almost gets them killed somehow. You know what I mean? He's like, I'm going to get on my fucking boat, and you can't stop. That kind of shit. Like,
yeah, he really does nothing besides being a snarky dickhead. But he's not like off. I'm talking like they need to be like.
He's not dangerous.
He needs to wield power dangerously.
Exactly. Yeah. Exactly. But yeah, this just didn't work for me. I had a real hard time getting through this. I was surprised. I was very surprised. And I guess, like Sean, I mean, the original Dawn of the Dead is one of my favorite movies. I've seen it 1,000 times. I own like 50 versions of it because I have like the original, the theatrical cut, the director's cut, the fucking Italian cut.
Well, it's the best of the three of those movies, I think, by far, too.
Oh, hands down. I mean, Night's still really great.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dawn is pretty amazing.
What's the third?
Day. I don't like Day.
I don't even know if I've ever seen Day of the Dead.
Interesting.
It has some ideas. It's just not very well executed.
I've seen Midday of the Dead.
Day of the Dead's biggest problem is that Romero had a lot of ideas and basically got his budget halved right before they were about to shoot. So he had this big sprawling idea. Like Night, the idea was that Night took place in like a single house, right? And then Dawn was in a mall. It's getting bigger, and then Day was supposed to be like a global thing. And they're basically like, yeah, we're not giving you the money to do this. So he had to take these ideas he had. It's like basically turns it into like a what do you call it? Like
a bottle movie.
A bottle movie. Yeah.
Sorry, George, we can't rent the planet.
Yeah. Well. Yeah, and I think that movie suffers for that. It does have one of the greatest gore effects, though, ever, when the guy gets pulled apart from the zombies and his guts are coming out. It's awesome. But yeah, I didn't really care for this one. So
well, then he ends up kind of making that movie with Land, and it's not very good.
It's not very good. Yeah, what are you gonna do? All right, so we got one more basketball movie, and it's my pick. I am picking Shaquille O'Neal's Blue Chips.
Hell yeah.
I have never seen it. I'm interested in seeing it. I remember the trailers a million years ago.
We can all take our Nick Nolte's out for a walk.
That one, right? Yeah. God damn it, Shaquille O'Neal!
You gotta make a goddamn free throw.
I spent all these blue chips on you. Why aren't you making baskets?
There's a fucking post game conference one time where Shaq was playing for the Lakers, and he would refuse to answer any question except for they said like, "How do you feel about guarding Akeem or whatever?" And he's like, "I am son of Jor-El, Superman." Like, that's all he would say.
I remember one Shaq clip where he was wearing like a fedora or something. They're like, "Where did you get that hat, Shaq?" He's like, "Your mama's house."
Shaq is the best.
Shaq also endorses every product known to man. Like I was just watching something the other day where he's like, it's some like brain force pill or something. He's like,
he's so rich, but like he's almost like he's trolling. Remember that fucking somebody took the YouTube or his Gold Bond commercial?
I love that. That's one of my favorite internet videos. Yeah. I think I showed that to Alec, and I think he showed it to both of him.
Yeah.
Apparently, Blue Chips has apparently Blue Chips has a movie, the podcast royalty Kevin Garnett in it. So I'm excited.
Hell
yeah. I'm excited. I think that might be a good one.
A second Rick Pitino movie too. We're getting 2 of them.
All right, well, that's the show. Eat your own ass. Yeah.
All right. A lot of
everybody. Bye-bye.
We did it.
Later, dudes.